A studio session, a courthouse arrival, a record store promotion, and one photograph that existed for only a second. These pictures survived for very different reasons, and each has something hiding in the details. That 93-cent sign is the clue. In August 1976, KISS appeared at Peaches Records in Atlanta for a muscular dystrophy fundraiser organized with radio station Z93. Kisses were sold for 93 cents apiece, and the event also included autographs and a KISS-inspired costume contest. Ace Frehley is signing in the middle of a much larger promotion. This 1975 Grammy photograph makes more sense in its full frame, which also includes John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Bowie presented Aretha Franklin's R&B award. Later, Paul Simon presented Record of the Year with Lennon and Andy Williams, while Art Garfunkel accepted for the absent Olivia Newton-John. The picture gathers people involved in several different parts of the same broadcast. Bowie is holding a 12-string Framus acoustic in manager Ralph Horton's office in February 1966. The photograph later found a second life when Framus used it in a full-page advertisement for its guitars. In April 1969, Morrison arrived at the Los Angeles Federal Building with attorney Max Fink for extradition proceedings to Florida. Federal authorities had entered the matter with a warrant concerning interstate flight to avoid prosecution. The photograph catches one specific step in the legal process surrounding Morrison, rather than a routine courthouse appearance. Bo Diddley was part of the Clash's first North American tour in 1979 because the band had invited him to open dates for them. At the Berkeley show, a contemporary reporter described Diddley receiving a standing ovation before the Clash came on. The backstage photograph puts the young punk band beside one of rock and roll's foundational performers during the tour itself. Ko Hasebe photographed Queen for Japan's Music Life magazine during the band's 1976 visit. Queen were on their second Japanese tour, and Hasebe's assignment included dedicated sessions away from the stage. The portrait comes from the Japanese press coverage surrounding the tour, including access that went well beyond the concerts. Keith Moon is at his Surrey home in October 1972 with his daughter, Amanda. The damaged car beneath him is a Ferrari Dino, turning an ordinary family photograph into a very specific snapshot of Moon's home life. The Byrds appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show only once in December 1965, performing Turn, Turn, Turn and Mr. Tambourine Man. Chris Hillman later said they were never invited back after David Crosby argued with the show's director. Crosby himself later admitted he should have handled the encounter differently. Norman Seeff rented a house in Malibu for this 1978 Fleetwood Mac session and encouraged the band to interact instead of holding fixed poses. He later described letting them tease and challenge one another while he photographed the results. That approach helps explain why the group portrait feels less arranged than a conventional promotional shoot. Bonham is pictured during Led Zeppelin's Earls court run in May 1975. 3 concerts were originally booked, but demand added 2 more. Across the 5 nights, the band sold about 85,000 tickets. The Royal World premiere of Help was in 1965, not 1966. Princess Margaret met the Beatles at London's Pavilion Theatre, and the event also benefited Dockland Settlements and Variety's charity fund for children. Jim Marshall had unusually close access when he photographed Jagger and Richards at Sunset Sound in 1972. They had specifically asked him to photograph them working there. Marshall later joined the Stones' California tour on assignment for life, but this quieter studio session began with an invitation directly from the musicians. Ringo Starr, Elton John, and George Harrison were photographed together in London in 1987, around the time of the Prince's Trust concert. All three took part in the all-star performance of While My Guitar Gently Weeps at Wembley Arena. That gives this relaxed three-man photograph a specific connection to the music being made around them. Lou Reed really was buying a puppy in Sydney in 1976. Photographer Mick Rock had the kind of access that made scenes like this possible, and Reed later credited him with preserving moments that otherwise would have disappeared. This picture is one of those moments, a simple errand preserved because Rock was close enough to photograph it. That kind of access wasn't always available. Alec Byrne was only 18 when he made this photograph at the BBC's Lime Grove studios in May 1967. He had watched Hendrix tape Top of the Pops and then noticed Mick Jagger nearby. After the performance, Byrne followed as Hendrix approached Jagger, asked if he could take a picture, and exposed a single Rolleiflex frame. Byrne later recalled that no other photographers were there,